Hello, you little elves. 5 more days till Christmas. Get your shit together, wrap those presents up, put those bows on. Don't forget to take off the price tags from your presents, because I do that. So maybe I should let you guys know, just in case you're like me. So yeah, go ahead, get it all ready, guys, because there's 5 more days till Christmas. It's getting hectic. People are tripping. People are stressed. But we're here, and we're listening to a podcast. So I hope you guys are listening to the podcast as you do your Christmas stuff. That'd be pretty cute. That's like a dream come true. Okay, so this podcast is called Sin Vergüenza, Without Shame. And I'm your host, Ale. And I'm here today with our quote-unquote co-host,
Mr. Anonymous in the building, y'all.
So, okay, this is our final little Christmas talk before the new year. So I want to ask you guys, and I want to ask you, what's your favorite Christmas activity? Whether it be the decorating, going to see the lights, caroling, maybe
I hate the fucking decorating.
Maybe there's the opening of the actual presents. Maybe it's Christmas dinner. There's just a lot of different things that people do throughout Christmas. So, what's your favorite thing to do for Christmas?
For me, I personally don't like the putting up of Christmas, because helping my mom for so many years do so many houses, it just like irritated me a lot. I will say that my favorite part of it though would have to be either opening the Christmas presents or Christmas dinner isn't too bad either. I'm not gonna lie. Even though like for most of the time like I haven't had a really good Christmas like time period, I always remembered at least the opening of Christmas presents being like so wonderful and just being able to get out of all the negativity, and the dinner, because one of the most important dinners I ever had was a Christmas dinner with my grandmother one year from Mexico, and I still remember it to this day, like everything we ate. So it was just very impactful, and it was like, I don't know, you know?
What'd you eat?
We ate, I don't know how to say it. Well, I do, but carne de chivo, una pierna de chivo,
Ew.
pero con salsa roja on top of it. It's like a traditional Mexican feast in a way, because it's like the sauce that they put with like the little green leaves inside the fucking food. I don't know if you had it before.
Mm-mm.
No? Well, it's
Probably, but I never actually had it.
yeah, it's like not good, but it's decent. I'm not gonna lie, like the taste of it. But like I said, it was just being with my grandmother. Like so many years have passed that I haven't been in a Christmas with my actual grandmother. So it was just like sitting next to her, like at least having more people present than my regular Christmas, like me and my mother. Um, just having her there and hearing her stories, and my grandmother started to suffer from Alzheimer's, so she would tell me the stories like over and over, and it was one thing that like a lot of my family
Is
members.
it really like Dory, to where you'll have a conversation and then it's just like she'll tell you the exact same thing?
Yeah, like it happens like that sometimes where she really like loses it, and then there's times where it could be after like an hour, 2 hours that she'll really tell you the story and shit. And for me, like that never got old. That never got like that was the most beautiful Christmas, just because it's like I know the story now well enough, well enough and stuff, and it was just such a lovely experience to have her there and just be with my grandmother for once, you know, on a special holiday.
Give me one quick second, guys. My son is crying outside the door. He's like, you guys forgot to put me on the mic. All right, sorry guys. Ranger was pressed that he didn't get to come on the mic. For me, my favorite Christmas activity has to be, there's just so much fun stuff. Like the tree is fun because if you put up the tree with some Christmas music, oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry. That's fun. Y'all better not make fun of me. That's fun. What else? The Christmas shopping is super fun because then you shop a little bit for yourself.
Only
Uh,
you do.
so that has to be my favorite stuff. The decorating of the tree with some Christmas music on, and then going to do the actual shopping. But I don't like to do my Christmas shopping last minute because then it's not fun. Then you're just fucking stressed. But yeah, that's my favorite things to do. Let us know. Comment down below. Put in the Google Forms what you guys what is your guys' favorite Christmas activity. There's so many stuff that you can do, so many things that we can go ahead and do on Christmas Day, Eve, the whole month. Just let us know what you guys like to do.
I will say, sorry about that. I will say that since I've been with like here, my Christmas has changed a lot more. And for a year, you guys, we did gingerbread houses, which was something I only did at school back in the day. But we were able to do it at home, and that was just so much more fun having people like around your same age group, like the conversations, the
Here?
shit talking. Yeah, because at home, like, there's a big gap between me and like anybody else in my family of age, and here was like all you guys are a lot more close within an age group. That it was just like the constant, hey, can you help me, bro? You're so dumb. How did that fall? Like all that talking and just being around people, like it's just so much fun, and like it was just a constant laughter building the gingerbread houses, to be honest.
And this year, honestly, I didn't buy any of that. I'm usually the one that buys the pumpkins, buys the cookies, does all this and that. And this year has just been so busy that I didn't even think about it at all till right now. So, I mean, it's not Christmas yet. We'll see what happens. But yeah, guys. All right. Now let's go ahead and jump into our first segment. So, with this segment is we go on this woman's chat room on the Flow app. And on this women's chat room, we basically have some shits and giggles, or we seriously learn about our bodies. For this first part of it, we're going to have shits and giggles. For the second part, we're going to learn about our bodies. So, with this first question that it gives us, it's self gratitude journal. What are you most grateful to yourself for? I'm going to kind of use this one for like the year. Let's make this like a little New Year's thing. So I want to switch up the question to what are you most grateful to yourself for in this year? What's something you did that you're grateful for this year
I'd say
to yourself?
hold my temperament a lot better this year
I would
for
say you need a
myself.
different answer because you do that all the time, period.
What?
You are not one to lose your temper, so
I mean, I am like to myself though. There is a lot of like self judging and self like torture that I do to myself that I don't really like tell anybody about or really like emphasize it, just because of the fact that for me it's positive things are more important than anything negative, and in your mind you have the power to create your own day. Like if something negative happens and you continue to think about it and continue to like um procrastinate or continue to talk about that subject like all day, you're just going to be going in a complete loop, you know? And it's been hard. Like I was a negative ass person and I didn't like to do things, and I really didn't like to talk much and shit like that. And I feel like last year really like helped me really understand that everything got, or this year, everything got a lot better with just me mentally talking to myself, being able to be like, you could do it if anybody else can, or you can do it, don't give up, keep trying, it's not that bad, it's not that heavy. Like I've done things this year that for me personally I don't see myself doing it, or didn't see myself before that, but once I got into it I was like, well fuck it, you're this far, like it's harder to go back,
Me with drinking, literally.
But it's like I said, like even with you, like it seemed really hard for you like the first 2 3 months of it, and then after that it kind of became like so much easier to where like you were only really consistently talking about it like every 2 to 3 months, like distance, or really big. So I'm proud of you for that. Like that's something hard as fuck to do.
But continue with your answer. That was just my
Um,
comment.
Sorry. So yeah, just basically like not losing my cool against myself. Like I'm the type of person that,
Basically, self doubt.
yeah, like I put myself down all the time, and like I stop myself from really trying to do things because it's like you can't do it. You're not allowed to do it. You like anything that negative comes to my mind really at first, and I know it's for a lot of people, but instantly as soon as I get that negative thought, a positive thought now is easier to come up with to balance myself.
Okay. Is that your answer? Like
Yeah.
you're done? Okay. I can't even say that the drinking was mine for this year because that was last year. I just made my year this year, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, honestly, what I'm it said grateful for, no? Self gratitude, yeah, most grateful for. So I'm grateful that I'm still pushing this podcast through. I'm grateful that I'm, even though there's so much shit going on, that I can still just say fuck the rest of the world to get this done because this is one of my main priorities. Um, basically, I'm grateful that I'm excited to do new things. Like right now, like I'm still getting the hang of this whole new schedule with the podcast, going out to record couples, coming home, editing, uploading TikToks. Like I'm still trying to grasp onto it all, but I know that when I'm done with it, I'm going to add more to myself, which is probably going to be so crazy, but I want to do it. Like starting this new year, we're doing a book club. Me and, if you guys remember her, Kirsten, from episode I think like 1, 2, or 3, me and her are starting a book club. You're talking to a bitch who hasn't read a book since high school, and um it's hard for me to read. Like it's I used to be so good at English. I used to be so good at paragraphs. I used to be so good at just writing in general, and I started losing it, and I start like forgetting how to use my punctuation, grammar, all this and that. So um I also want to add new words to my shit for when I talk shit. Like I want to go ahead and expand my vocabulary. So I feel like because I've been slipping on all that, I need to read more so I can go back into seeing what the proper way is, what words to use. Like I would always have trouble reading. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's some type of thing that's wrong with me, but when I read, I'll forget everything that I just read. I can literally have my finger on the word and I'll forget where I'm at. I literally will start just like the words will move. Like my eyes will literally just like make a movie and the words will start moving. It's so hard for me to sit down and read and focus. And when I do sit down and read and focus, nothing grasps into my brain. Like I will completely forget what I read. So with this new not book fair, book club, I feel like with that it'll help with everything else that I've been lacking in, and just maybe it'll help me read. Well, obviously it's going to help me read better. So and then like this, it's like, okay, now I, instead of forgetting what I'm talking about, I'm going to have notes and stuff because we're going to go sit down and have our meetings about the book, and it'll help me remember more shit. Might help me with my memory period. So there's that. That's first for what I want to grab into now. The second thing that I'm going to go ahead and do is I want to learn how to play the piano, but I need the space for a piano and I need a piano. But other than that, that's basically what I'm grateful for, that like I just don't want to stop myself, and it might seem like I feel like there's a lot of times where people think I'm not doing shit with myself, but it's because they probably don't know what I'm actually doing. Like, if you ask my mom what the fuck I do with my life, she's gonna tell you this bitch just smokes and hits the streets. Like, she doesn't know what's going on. Like, she doesn't, like, none of them really do. So it's like, I'm just grateful that I did everything that I did and that I'm gonna do more. So I'm just busy. I just stay busy. So that's what I'm grateful for. Because then that just keeps my mind off of, like, it does add stress, but it adds stress that I'd like rather than stress that I wouldn't like, you know?
I think it's basically because of like the stress that it gives you. It's something that you can
It makes me
accomplish.
feel alive. I'm just kidding.
It's stuff that
A
you
little
can
bit.
accomplish a lot easier, and it's stuff that like at the end of it you see the change of it. And a lot of like stress that you're talking about, which could be like self sabotaging stress, where it's like you put yourself down or stuff like that. It's so much harder to like try and grasp and like work past it, because it's you versus yourself, as in you versus a task, you know?
Yeah.
So I understand that. Like I know for me personally, before I would love to have a lot of things like on my plate, because I always told myself if I have a lot to do, it'll keep me away from doing dumb shit. It'll keep me away from going and doing shit with my friends that I know I'm gonna get in trouble for doing and shit like that. And as I got older, like now it's easier for me to be like, nah, I don't really want to go do a lot of dumb shit. Like fuck sabotaging myself. I'd rather be at home
It
with a little
surprises
bit.
me that there really are people out here, like, I'm gonna just be honest, like, it surprises me that there's people out here that still do shit that they did in middle school till this day, like all this gang or high school, like all this gang banging, selling drugs, like,
Well, don't get me wrong. There's times where, like, even me and my friends talk about it. There's times where we want to do dumb shit that it's like go over and toilet paper a fucking person's house just to get the not the anxiety, but the adrenaline of like running away from somebody or being chased. Like to me, that was always the one thing that I always liked, was either being chased or trying to be found, because it gave me some adrenaline rush that like a lot of things really don't get me to that point.
with that though, that's different. That's just doing stupid kid shit. But it's like people who literally just do the dumb shit where it's like, as I was saying, like the drugs, the gangs. Maybe there's people that still get into fucking fist fights, like all that shit. That's the type of shit you leave in school, like drama. All that is just like, we're adults now. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, there are like dealers who end up becoming like stores and have their own companies and all this and that, but they made it to the point to where they can do all this shit legally. Like, homegirl, your baby daddy's gonna get locked up if you keep letting him do this shit. Like, it's that type of stuff to where it's like, I'd rather have these types of stresses than be like doing all that, because it's like the fact that people are still on that even as adults is just, it surprises me. Like, you don't want to learn anything new, you don't want to do anything cool, anything better, anything that'll like expand your brain, you know?
Right. No, I understand that. Like, for me, I never really, I kind of understood the life, like, of being in a gang and stuff, but at the same time, like, I felt like that shit was just, like you said, it was just something that you should always grow out of. Because, I mean, at the end of the day,
It's
most,
not gonna get you nowhere as an adult
it,
unless you do it the legal way, but a lot of those people don't want to.
I mean, yeah, and in that situation, like, it's really sad to say, but a lot of people, like, when you listen to them, a lot of them tell you, like, I wasn't supposed to make it past 18. I'm surprised I'm 25. I'm surprised I'm 30. And it's like, you're surprised, but you're not really changing the attributes in your life to make it past what you're thinking or surpass it, you know? Like, you could be doing a lot of stuff. Like you said, even simple as drug dealers right now try and make it into a corporation, try to make it legal. Like, there's no way that
I've seen plugs that done it.
there's, yeah, like even cookies as a brand, like Burner started as a drug dealer from
I wanted to say
California.
that, but I didn't want to be wrong.
No, he started as a drug dealer from California, and now he has a fucking $1 billion enterprise. Like, he could have sold out and continued grinding on himself and grinding his company out, and now he's a billion. It's like, so it's something that it is possible, but you really have to have that mentality of I have to make it out of here. Like even if it's not for yourself, I feel like you should make it out of there for your next generations, or try to leave something for your next generations.
Sometimes that's not even enough though, because there's people with children. I know a handful of people, sadly, whether it be in my inner circle or just from friends that I know. But not even the children. Like if they have children, not even that will stop people from. Sorry, guys. Ranger had some shit to say. Will stop people from doing that. So before we get too more into that, um, just change old habits, people. It's a new year. It's Christmas. Ask the big man to help you with some new stuff. Anything is honestly, it'll help you. Even if you fucking like do little puzzles, something to get your brain working on, something new. Okay. So, some of the answers from the girls today are again, the question is self-gratitude journal. What are you most grateful for yourself? All right, one girl said, I'm grateful for finally speaking up about my childhood sexual abuse. It started when I was around 5 and ended when I was 12. The first time I woke up was 5 years ago. Oh, sorry, the first time I spoke up was 5 years ago. After my second son was born, I was 30. It's been so hard since then. I will probably be on antidepressants my whole life, and the trauma will never leave my memories. But this September, I am starting to go to training as a mental health nurse and actually being my life. And actually begin my life in the way I chose. I'm so grateful that I finally got the courage to speak up and find support. My new normal is weird, but I'm still working on it and I'm getting there. That's
That's a hard one.
it took her years to say something. Years. That just goes, and this will kind of go with um our second part of today's segment with this. So, I mean, it takes, you can never really judge anybody on for never saying anything um or saying it quote unquote too late or whatever, because it's different for everybody. Some people will say it right then and there. This lady took years, and that's perfectly fine. So kudos to her. That's cool. That's definitely something you should have some self-gratitude for. All right. Another lady said, the hardest thing for me is fighting me. Every day I fight the laziness inside me. I have to force myself to get up and do one and two and to focus. I know I have great potential. I have people who love me. My biggest obstacle in my life is me. Honestly, you want to compare yourself to somebody, compare yourself to yourself. And like that, it's like the biggest push ever.
It really is, because it comes to what we were kind of saying. Like you're really battling yourself constantly, and it's so hard.
Another person said, proud of myself for coming this far in life, regardless of what's going on, because the only comparison I make is my past life and present life. And yes, my present life is better than my past. Very grateful, appreciative, and proud, even when things aren't going as well, because some people didn't get the privilege to do so. The dead, which I strongly sympathize with, because there are so many unfinished dreams that has been buried. So I'm grateful to God for this opportunity, even in my darkest moments. She put it in the right way, like, make sure you put yourself up, because there's people who didn't get to do that and now they're gone. So I like that answer. We'll read one more. A lot of these ladies said leaving that man, just so y'all know. Another girl said, for sticking through school, even though I rarely ever get praised, I'm proud of myself regardless. If nobody tells me they're proud, I'm glad I'm pushing myself to graduate. Yes. Honestly, that's amazing. No matter where you're graduating from, high school, middle school, elementary, which if you're on elementary, I don't know why you're on this app. Well, you know what? It's for all the girls, so honey, log right in here. Um that's true, cuz I feel like a lot of, like, when we're in school, a lot of us are like, Why am I going to do this for? My mom wants me to do this. Yada, yada, yada. I think it's not until if whether or not you choose college is where you actually see that it's for you. But I always felt kind of weird how people would use it as an excuse. Like, my mom wants me to graduate. I don't even want to be here. Like, I'm sorry, but you're just I like I always seen it as you are gonna struggle if you don't simply have just this diploma. Like, if you don't even have the bare minimum of a high school degree, like, don't get me wrong, I know people have literally started businesses out of their garage, but if you don't even have the motivation to do that, do you really have motivation to do something else and start something else? Unless you're already working on it and you feel like school is taking your time away from that project, you know? Um, I think you should be grateful that you're pushing yourself for that because it's hard for a lot of people. I'm not judging you if you're like that because sometimes school is hard for people in many ways, whether it be the curriculars, whether it be the people around you making it harder for you. Like, just keep pushing yourself. So, I think the main answer here is everybody just needs to keep pushing themselves to do better. And that's what they're grateful for. At least that's what I get out of it.
That's what I got out of it too. Everybody was pushing themselves to become a better version of themselves that they needed to become.
Okay. Sorry if we didn't give a trigger warning for that last one, but right now I'm for sure gonna give a trigger warning. Like I said, that first answer or second answer is gonna lead into this. Usually I like to tell the men that they could leave here, skip this one, but men, you could also use this in case you've been through this. So with the second part is the part that we learn about our bodies, and I just want to go ahead and this is pretty intense, but it's very good to know. So the second part is navigating sex and intimacy after trauma. So recovering from assault, abuse, or sexual trauma can be complex, and it looks different for everybody. Um, and I'm reading basically what they have here on these little paragraphs or like studies that they have here. So it goes on to saying trauma at its core is a violation of safety we experience in our bodies. And this is all written from a sex therapist named Casey Tanner. We'll be calling her Tanner from here on out. And it just takes time. It literally takes time. Take as much time as you need with it. Um, she goes on to saying the more you understand about yourself and what you need, the better you can communicate to the person you're having sex with. So, I'm gonna just let y'all know right now. Basically, to sum it all up, she just goes on to saying you have to learn yourself first before you can have somebody else come into the mix with you, because you have to let them know your boundaries, let them know what you're feeling, let them know what you like and dislike, what's a maybe for you, in order for you to even be comfortable with them. Because if they do something that triggers you, that's going to be tough because they didn't know, and if you didn't know, it's even harder. So just make sure you get to learn a little bit more about yourself before doing anything. But let me continue reading it. So she goes on to saying practice body neutrality if the positivity doesn't resonate with you. After the trauma, it might feel challenging to see your body as a safe and comfortable home. You might associate it with negative thoughts and feelings. So, a simple instruction, she says, is you just need to start loving yourself again. Um, if you label yourself like, oh, I'm beautiful, she says it's not really authentic, but it doesn't mean that the label is flawed. She's trying to basically say, instead of just telling yourself, I'm beautiful, all this and that, go a little more deeper and inward and actually give like an actual feeling of this instead of, giving it the basics. But if the basic words work for you to where you telling yourself, I feel beautiful makes you feel good, then do it. Um, she goes on to saying body neutrality means accepting and appreciating your body for what it does and how it allows you to experience the world rather than trying to live how it feels or looks. Okay. I like that.
I think that's the hardest one right there. Like getting past what you see visually and getting to what you feel emotionally.
or what it does for you. Like, it's like, um, what can you do? Like, let's say you're at work one day and you're like, I can't carry this box, but nobody's there to help you. So you carry it and you actually can carry it. And you're like, oh shit, I'm actually a little strong. I'm about to throw this fucking box. All right. She goes on to saying you could stand in front of a mirror naked or clothed and identify objective truths about your body and its functions. You can go on to saying I have a face that I can express what I feel. So this is what she meant when she's all like, don't just say I'm beautiful. Like, use these type of things and it'll make it feel more intimate for yourself. So again, I have a face that I can express what I feel. I have shoulders that can carry the weight of my neck, head, and brain. I have arms that can carry my child or my pet. This exercise can help you reconnect with your body and your mindset. Um, all right. So, often in traumatic experiences, oh, and this part is exploring your body alone. Often in traumatic experiences, your anatomy and power are taken away from you without consent, sadly. So, you have to go ahead and re engage with your body on your own. Um, you can do this by taking a shower, filling up and seeing what parts get tensed or triggered when you touch them, lying in bed clothed or unclothed and just feeling your body and just accepting your body and just trying to make yourself comfortable. She says you can move your hands along the length of your body. If you notice that touching certain parts if you notice that touching certain parts of yourself creates anxiety, pause and breathe into that body part. So basically, like, where if you like tense up or if you just like can't let that person touch you there, or even yourself touch yourself there, if it makes you uncomfortable, just touch yourself there and breathe and think about it and just breathe in. She says breathe into that body part, so I'm assuming just hold yourself there and take a deep breath. um she goes on to saying if you feel ready to get directly sexual with another person, oh no, sorry. This is not with another person, but with yourself, you can try touching your chest or your genitals. But rather than engaging in this exercise with an intention of orgasming, simply just be body curious. So basically, like, bring it back to when, what if you even were able to do this, but like usually, what is it, like middle school, high school is when you actually start messing with yourself.
Around there, I would say.
Um, or you never know, even sooner. She says just try to touch yourself like in a masturbation-y way, but don't make it a goal to where you're trying to just masturbate. Make it a goal to where you're basically just trying to get used to your body again. Okay. She says the main key is to communicate. An open conversation about where you are in your recovery when you are ready to have sex with somebody. Let them know where you're at and what you're not comfortable with. Um, you can go ahead and start with non-sexual moments. Like, sorry, I lost where she said what the non-sexual stuff was. Um, when you do tell them about your story, you don't have to tell them everything. You don't have to give every single detail. Girl, you can only share what you want to share.
I feel like in a lot of situations like that, when you tell your partner, hey, like, I don't like to be touched there, or that doesn't make me feel good. Like, a lot of times he or she will be able to kind of understand, like, especially if it's in a sexual matter, like maybe they've never been touched like that, maybe they don't like to be touched like that, like, let me find an alternative. I don't like to be touched there. Oh, okay, sorry. Continue like nothing.
So basically, she goes on to saying when you are ready to tell them the story, try to find a low pressure moment, a non sexual moment. Basically, like maybe while you guys are just cuddling or some shit, just something that basically isn't in the act. Um, there's many different things that you can go ahead and do. You can schedule it in certain ways to where there is intimate time. It doesn't even have to be having sex. It could be literally cuddling. It could be filling up on each other, just stuff like that. For sure, she says to set boundaries. Let them know what you're down for, what you're not down for, and what's something that you might be down for. Pay attention to your body's trauma responses as well as your mind. The body can remember things even if the conscious mind doesn't think about them. So that goes on to saying, like, where basically if you start touching yourself and you notice that there's a spot that feels uncomfortable or tenses you up, that's what she's basically saying. Your body can remember something that your mind doesn't want to remember. Because a lot of times, what happens in these moments is when it comes to very traumatic stuff like this, your mind will literally wipe your fucking memory and shove it deep down in the core to where it doesn't want to remember. It just really does not want to remember. Um, I've had a lot of friends and personal experiences to where people can literally just be sitting down, minding their own business, doing whatever, and then bam, that memory comes out of fucking nowhere like a truck and it just hits them. So, maybe when you're doing this, just be prepared and be careful because maybe that triggers, since you are really focusing on your body and focusing on the what happened. She doesn't say this, but I think it's kind of like something that you should know. Just be prepared in case one of those memories comes out. Okay. Try to reground yourself through mindful sex. So, sticking to intimacy and what feels comfortable. She basically says to ground yourself is basically using all your five senses. Like, what do you see? You see a freckle on your partner's cheek? Do you see the color of the curtains? Um, touch, feeling on their skin, feeling on the blankets. Um, yeah, smell, sound, and taste, just using those components to go ahead and come back and ground yourself in case you start losing yourself into the intimacy. If you guys want help, you guys can go ahead and look up the National Sexual Assault Hotline, National Domestic Violence Hotline, Anti-Violence Project, and Darkness to Light. Those are just 4 places that you could go ahead and ask for help or look for help. If not, I'm pretty sure you guys can look up stuff online and some stuff will come up like numbers and emails and stuff like that. So that was our part 2 about learning about our bodies. So if this triggered you in some way, I'm sorry, but I hope this can help you, or maybe if you know somebody that's gone through some stuff, you can go ahead and share this message to them, share these websites, share this link, share these tips. But yeah, if you guys want to go ahead and drop some comments about this whole topic, you guys can do so in the Google form if you're comfortable, or if you just want to have somewhere to unload anything off your chest. It's 100% anonymous. You can let me know whether or not you want me to put it on the podcast. Completely up to you. It's there for you, not for me. It's there for you. All right. Do you have anything to say right now, or do you want to move on?
Only thing I have to say is if you are the person in the relationship and you notice that your couple is having troubles or doesn't like to be touched in a specific area or stuff like that, try as hard as you can to kind of keep that in the back of your mind and not do it or not pressurize them into telling
It could
you.
be both boys, girls,
Yeah, of course.
whatever you
Just
identify as.
try not to make them tell you. Just give them their space, allow them to work through it. It's something that a lot of times it could be so traumatic that they don't even want to think about it anymore, or they don't want to open that chapter of their book. They just want to close it and leave it there. Let them work through it as much as they can by themselves. If they ask you for help, be there and try and sympathize with them and help them as much as you can, because in a lot of situations, you guys, it's really hard to even, as a man and as a female, to talk about some situations that have put you in a spot that it's uncomfortable. It's heartbreaking. It's traumatic. Like, there's experiences with everybody, and everybody has had something that has made them not want to talk about it. So please just understand people and their barriers and what they are capable and not capable of doing. Like, it is hard, not just for you, it's hard for them. And if you continuously forget and stuff like that, I'll at least allow them to know that you're sorry about it and you're really not trying.
Okay. So that is our first segment. Now let's go ahead and talk about some other stuff. Okay. I just want to talk about how, because last week we talked about stepchildren and giving them gifts and whatever. So, do you think that it's true that blood is thicker than water?
No.
Me either. I really don't. I have more love for some of my friends than I do some of my own family members. Take it as you may.
I
I
feel
really don't
like
give a fuck.
I feel like when I was younger, I had this talk with somebody that put this quote kind of in my head, and it really spoke to me a lot. And until this day, I still remember. And he told me, God gave you the family that God gave you, but He gave you this life to make an opportunity, and
To
all the
make your own.
friends that you have are the family that you choose. So it really spoke to me because it's true. Like the people that you choose to be around you, your friends, companions, and stuff like that. Like that's people that God probably put them in your way for them to be there, but He didn't necessarily put them there for you to be there. That's something you make your own choice, who you want to talk to, who you want to get near, who you want to get close to. And I feel like it's so true, like what you said. There's people that I have more love for within outside of my family than within my own family that might have hurt me less or might have hurt me more, or we just been through a lot more stuff together. So no, not always is blood thicker than water.
Yep. Okay. So I'm not sure what this brand is. It's Hermes here. Her
Hermes.
Hermes. What is that? Clothes?
It's a clothing brand, yes.
Okay. For guys and girls, or is this looks like a man
No, it's
like
everything.
stuff? Oh, okay. So Hermes here. Don't make fun of me, y'all. I don't be buying this shit. It's the man himself. He plans to share half of his $12 billion wealth with his gardener.
I agree.
It basically goes on to saying that he plans to adopt his 51-year-old gardener because you know he's getting a little old. He wants to give him 6% ownership of the 22 billion valued Hermes. So out of the company, he wants to give him 6% of it. He's not married. He has no children, and he has some family feuds going on. So he's already giving him some of his properties that are worth almost 6 million to his gardener. I think he chose his gardener because he's the one helping him maintain all this shit. So he's like, you know what, you put in the work, you're gonna have some of the fruit of your labor type shit. And I think that's pretty cool because he really, like, even though he's beefing with his family, you'd still assume that he'd give some to his family, but you never know. Like people, I a lot of people assume that they treat like the gardeners and like the maids and whatever like shit. I've I've seen it sometimes. Rarely. It's honestly more rare than you think because I've been on the gardener side, not where I'm a gardener, but where my family's gardeners. And I've never really seen them be disrespected. They honestly are always like pretty nice to them, even though they can't communicate with each other at all. There's still some type of respect and communication there. When it comes to the maid part, I guess I've kind of been a maid. Not really. I was a housekeeper, and I never really was like disrespected there either. When I would just honestly, like, if they were to say some shit ruder for me to do it, I wouldn't do it. I never really was disrespected in that way either. The only thing that was disrespectful is, but I also can't say shit, is like when you would clean and then they would make a mess again. But you can't really say shit because this is this person's house. Like
That's job security right there,
the
baby.
house is always gonna get dirty. So that was whatever. But I think it's pretty cool because a lot of the times, like on both ends, like I was saying, the gardener or the housekeeper, most of the time, like they treat you really just like family, and they really do the most. So I could see why he did his gardener like this. I'm pretty sure they probably would hang out and have some cold ones or some shit together. You never know, but there's obviously some type of big friendship right there too, where he knows he can trust this man,
Well, I mean, you'll be surprised, but
or he loves him that much.
in a lot of
He loves him.
in a lot of situations like that, like my grandfather when he passed away, a lot of people were thinking like since he was a big person, he wasn't going to be thinking about the little people around him, you know? And to this day, like he left it in his will that where I work at, we have a lot of people from different countries come out and help us with the ranching hands and stuff like that. and he left it that he still wanted the same people that had been with him to continue to be with him if they allowed their services. And he's still taking care of them. There's a Peruvian that works with us, and this older guy, really older guy, um had a son in college and stuff. My grandfather told him, like, if you work for me, if you be my right hand man, like, I'll make sure that your son gets through college and shit, you know. And once he passed away, it was before his son even graduated, and he even left it as a in a notepad, like, okay, this person has to work with us another 5-6 years because I promised this, like. And I seen it firsthand, like, being Hispanic, I feel like I've seen it a lot more just because of the fact that I've been moved around a lot in different workspaces that my mother has worked at. We've been to restaurants,
I thought you were
houses,
about to
like
say Russia.
no. We've been to different places and shit, and for the most
I
part,
feel like
like,
a server probably gets treated shit more than
well, you'd be
anything.
surprised, like, these restaurant owners would have like 4 or 5 different restaurants out in Texas, big fucking restaurants and shit, and they would be like the most humblest people, and that's why I see a lot of like shows and shit showing that they treat these people like shit. Don't talk to them. Like, my grandfather's right hand man was basically the handyman of the house. If he needed anything replaced anywhere in his ranches, that was the man he would call to go do it, because he knew how to do everything, you know. And when he passed away, he even left him like a bunch of stuff, and it wasn't like they would go out and drink. It wasn't that they would go out to like parties or shit like that, like hang out outside of like their 8 hour shifts or
And what's
nothing.
crazy is like I was always like, fuck all these rich people. They don't give a fuck. Da 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 da. But it's like it wasn't until him that I'm like, damn, like not all people with money are complete assholes.
They're really not. There's a lot of people that like the
And like a lot of people will say they're either mean or stingy or greedy or like, they treat people like shit. But once I seen that, I'm like, dude, like, what is that? I was stereotypical, huh?
well, no, because the one thing that I have noticed, and like you said, with me being around a lot
Still
of
fuck the corporations though.
with me being around a lot of people with a lot of wealth and stuff, the one thing I've noticed is they're not really assholes. The thing is, they like their shit done, and they like it done fast, and they like it done right. And if you can't provide those 3 things how they want it to be
But
done,
that's basic necessities you're gonna have to ask for, like anywhere where you're at.
exactly. So it's not them being assholes or anything. It just feels different when it's the boss telling you some
And then
shit.
this is like the fact that this dude literally has already given him the just 6 million in what he's saying land and properties. Like he didn't give him money, he gave him properties. That properties can make him so much more money too. It's just that's pretty
Well,
cool. Do you
and
think
it's
that he is like? What do you think about him doing it? Him being like somebody that um is like more known of, I guess,
well,
except for me.
it's like I said, like, it's people like that that, like you said, they know their work, they know how they are with like maybe their properties, so they know that they are taking care of their things. They probably, like you said, had 1 or 2
I bet the
talks.
pool guy's pissed.
And you have to think, a lot of times, like, all these people really don't tell you, hey, good morning, or a lot of people don't go up to you and be like, hey, how's your day going, sir? Even that, like, to a person can mean so much, because it opens up that opportunity to talk somebody to somebody normally. And I'm not gonna lie, like, a lot of times you start talking to these people and you forget that they're the boss, and they forget that you're the employee. Like, you really have a friendship bond to where it's like they'll cuss at you and you can cuss back at them, and right after that,
I've never had that
no,
before, and I don't think
like,
anybody has.
you kind of gain that bond to where it's like, oh shit, like, maybe we really are homies and shit like that. And to these people, it means a lot more because they're around people that are always kissing their asses, you know.
So, shout out to him for doing that. That's I don't. I would like to know how the gardener felt. Like, what was his reaction when that was like, no, this is officially like legally yours. I'm 100% not fucking with you. There's no prank, sir. Like, I don't know.
Mind
I would
blown.
have cried. I would have dropped down and cried. Like,
You know, he dropped down and cried. You know, he was mind blown as fuck. Like, but the thing is, like, in a lot of these situations, you at least for me, I start thinking, okay, so now does the gardener stop working because he has all this money? He stops being this guy's friend and stops having this friendship thing with him,
Mm.
or does he continue to start doing it, grow his business, and make
I think
sure
if
like
he's already like up to the point to where Mr. Hermes, what? Hermes, would you say?
I'm not sure because
Hermes.
there's one brand that it's for clothing, and then there's the other brand that's for like ketchups and shit like that.
Okay.
So
I think that's Heinz, right?
no, no, it's Heinz, and then another one that's exactly like
Okay.
it.
All right. So let's go into our second subject of the night. Um,
What would you do?
what would I do if I got that?
Yeah,
I'd cry.
but like, would you continue to like?
I'll be his friend.
Hell yeah.
Um, honestly, well, that depends. Like, how was our relationship? Like, were these people like? That's what I'm wondering. Like, were they? It could be to where they were actually like friends, and he genuinely like, cares for the dude, or it could just be like, you know what? It really is fuck my family. Here you go. You know.
I still feel like even though it's like fuck your family, you're not gonna do that. You're not gonna just give it to somebody random like that
I
because you're not
mean,
even like you said. He's not even giving it to no pool guys, no people that clean his house. You don't know if he has a chef. Like, no, he specifically gave it to this one man. Like,
who do you
not all
think
the
would be more
gardeners.
closer to him? I think honestly, out of everybody in the
The
house,
chef.
it really no. I think it's gonna be the person who cleans his house.
I think either
Because when I
that or the
started
chef.
doing that job, I feel like that was so intimate with people. Like,
Because
it was
people get so cool
crazy.
with you. Like, you really get to know the tea of the house and shit. And, like, you really get to, like, put your 2 cents in. And they're like, oh, hell yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying?
All right. So, how would you react?
Honestly, I would still be his homie. You would still see me every single day that I was supposed to be there making sure
Yo,
your
what? If we
shit
were
was.
friends, I'd stay friends. Yeah.
Well, even if I'm not your friend, like,
Come over for dinner.
I'm still gonna show up and be like, yeah, we're gonna do this shit for you. I'm gonna make sure it gets done right like you want it. One and two, like for sure, like I'm inviting him over to his own old house and being like, hey, but you're staying at the guest house tonight, all right? Like, we're not that close yet.
Let's go ahead and move on to our second segment, the dream segment. This is where we talk about dreams that we've had in the past that have stuck with us or any dreams that we've had recently. And I'm talking about the dreams that you have in your sleep, you guys. Oh, sorry, I hit the mic. Okay. I'm at another week without no dreams. What do you have? Do you have one? Let's pray. Let's pray.
I had one.
Okay. When did you have yours?
I actually had mine today, and that was the craziest part because like I woke up, laid back down, fell asleep, had this dream, and like when I was having it, it was just so out of whack that it was just like, okay, this is chilling. I was basically on a mountain. Like the craziest part is like I don't know who or what I was standing next to, but I was literally just chilling there with this thing. And me and him were just having an odd ass conversation as like we're watching just the planet just kind of like spin.
From the outside?
No, like we were chilling on a mountain and like it was just spinning in front of us. So like it was literally like oceans, and then it was like all of a sudden snowy, and
Oh,
you know what I'm like, a
okay.
snow globe kind of effect. And as me and him are talking and shit, like we start to getting to walking.
Off the cliff or
Yeah,
back
like no,
down?
like just off the cliff. Like we just start getting to walking, and that's why I didn't understand because like as we're walking, like shit was moving under us, but I couldn't
It
see.
was like it was turning terrains around you,
Yeah, but like
but like in a circle, right?
yeah, and then
Okay.
like as I was walking, when I looked down to see like what the fuck I was walking on, I could see just like what like the little bridge that we were walking on, but on the sides it was just smoky, and like in front of me it was just like all moving. Like the terrains were just kind of like spinning but slowly.
Damn, I wish we had an animator to like create that cuz I think I can see what you're saying.
That shit's crazy. Like I'm not gonna, and it wasn't like it was turning like as in like you're looking down on it, and it was like going slowly. No, 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 like you were seeing the terrain, and it was like you could see the jungle trees right in front of you. You could see like
And you
the
were standing with somebody
lions.
you couldn't see at all.
No, like me and him were just walking, and I
And then
know it
where'd you
was a
land?
dude, like, cause it was just like his voice was just like the homie.
And where did you land? Or what happened next?
No, like we kept like walking and shit, and then all of a sudden he was like, "All right, like this is where I drop you off," and I was like,
Oh,
"Wait, what do
hell
you mean?"
no.
And he's like, "We're done."
We didn't
Like,
say shit throughout this whole ride, and all of a sudden.
no, like we had a full ass conversation. Like I don't remember our conversation, but as we walked, like the only thing I remember was he was like, "All right, this is where I drop you off," and I was like, and I looked down and I was like, "Dude, there's nothing under me. Like, where am I going?" And he's like, "Bye," and pushes me, and like as I'm falling, like that's when I woke up. But it was just like smoke, and like as I looked up, it was weird. But
That's so weird.
I seen like what he was like, where he was standing, and then like where I was standing, like all of a sudden like a elephant head just pulled up and like looked down, and I was like, damn.
You think you were dreaming of that because of the movie we were watching, Love and Monsters?
I'm
Guys,
not
watch it
sure.
on Netflix. Love and Monsters. It's basically Dylan O'Brien is facing the end of the world, and a meteor was gonna. Oh wait, I shouldn't tell them what's going on. It's a good movie. There's monsters.
Well, it's just basically the end of the world, and all the animals, amphibians, reptiles,
All the
shit
animals
like that, other than like
and
mammals.
bugs.
No, yeah,
Bugs.
bugs. Like other than mammals, basically become monsters, and he has to
Mutants.
get to his destination.
They
You guys can watch
become
it.
like the size of a building.
Yeah, like shit be breaking through buildings.
Okay, I'm back. I couldn't hold it no more. That was my first time going to use the restroom on the podcast. It's episode 35. And all 35 episodes, I have not needed to go to the restroom. That's a little TMI, but I just thought it was like, I was sitting in the restroom and I was like, wait, this is the first time I've ever had to pause to do it. Because usually I'm doing it for everybody else that's here.
Right.
But this was my first time. So, okay. That was a crazy dream. When I was also sitting in the restroom, I was thinking about your dream again, and it was kind of like reminding me of, you know, those things that you would put on your eyes as kids, and it was like a little magnifying glass, but it had different colors and it would create like
Oh,
different
different.
shapes and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, those were so cool. Um but yeah, that was our dream segment. You guys can go ahead and drop your dreams in the Google form. Google form. I said that a little too fast. In the Google form, and we could go ahead and read them on the podcast 100% anonymously. Did I say it right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So now, you honestly, I'm so surprised that you're the one that liked this more than I did because I'm the instigator here. Um you want to do Am I the Asshole? Why do you think you liked it more than I did?
Because there's some that are so fucking funny. Like I was looking at some while we were on a date and shit.
Okay.
And like there's some where it was just like, bro, like I read it first and I was like, nah, you're not, bro. And then when I seen the story, I'm like, damn, you're an asshole, dog. Like fuck you.
Did
But
you pick one that you liked?
um let me pull it up.
Okay, then while you look for yours, I already have mine. And I'm going to start with my favorite one so far. So that way we start with the bang and. Or should I start with the bad ones first? You know what? We're going to start with the bang. So this one is Am I the Asshole? Let me go ahead and explain Am I the Asshole? Basically, we're going to read this person's perspective, an argument, or whatever the heck is going on, some type of drama. And we pick whether the person writing it in or the person they're talking about is the asshole in this situation. All right. So my first one is Am I the asshole for kicking my friend and her husband out for eating and wasting my food?
No.
No?
Fuck no. Hell no.
Okay. Final answer?
Yeah.
I, female 34, made the mistake of allowing my best friend Mary, female 33, and her husband Carl, male 27, and her two kids to crash at my place after showing up being uninvited. Ooh, I hate when that happens. She showed up for a visit and later complained that it was too late for them to go back home. It was 5 hours away. I hate having people over, and she has history of being a moocher. Hmm. I've had history with the Moocher. Have you had any history with the Moocher?
What's a moocher?
Where they basically like um they they take as much away from you as they can. Like, oh, I know that they'll buy me this, so I'm gonna go ahead and toss it in the cart type of shit.
Oh, a muncher.
Yeah,
Yeah,
munchy moochie. You have with a
yeah.
friend, family member.
Friends, and it's like, bro, like we've had like my mom's whole ass friends as well. Like pull up to the house, knowing what time we usually eat, just to eat. So it's like, bro, like not even because y'all friends.
And it's like you already know that we're not the type of people to be rude and tell you, hey, we're gonna eat, bye.
Yeah, exactly.
And bitch, I'm hungry. I'm not gonna wait for you to leave either. All right. With me it was with a certain friend too. Um, However, we did have a great time, so in the end, I was grateful for her visit and it was raining. I agreed to let her spend the night safely at my place. I did not go crazy with accommodations because I didn't want her to get too comfortable. So I opened the sofa for the bed and went to sleep. My boyfriend went into the bathroom near midnight and woke me up looking angry and confused. He said Mary and her husband were having an unauthorized food orgy in our kitchen. At first, I thought they were fucking with the food. Like they were,
Put that whipped cream on your nipples, girl.
no, like they were fucking the food. That's what I thought what was going on when I heard orgy in the kitchen. Unauthorized food orgy. I thought they were fucking the food.
Oh God.
And then it goes on to saying, I immediately went there and found her in the by the dinner table with our trays of sushi laying around. Trays of sushi. Dude, I don't even go like that far into all you can eat that you're eating trays
She
of
said this in that
sushi.
buffet.
While she was sampling it and handing it to her husband, the wastebasket was right next to them because he was taking a bite and spitting it out if he didn't like it. My sushi sampler tray was left and with just a few pieces, and most of my boyfriend's tray was thrown away by them without even asking permission to eat it.
He
The
must
fact
like nasty ass sushi if the whole tray was in the trash. Like fuck his shit.
rip. They also cut a brand new and store sealed artisan cake. And opened juice cartons straight from the pantry, despite me having left juices in the fridge in case they wanted some. The garbage bin had lots of chewed up rice. It looked like someone had chewed it and sucked the flavor out of it and then spit it out. I found this especially infuriating as I left the house with no dishes. So there was dishes too. Y'all ate them from the trays and then used dishes. Okay. I served them dinner. I showed them where the bread and sandwich supplies was in case they needed something. I don't understand why she wanted to take more than what she was given. I also found a complete box of chocolates gifted from my boyfriend emptied out and an entire 6-pack of Coca-Cola. So they ate trays of sushi. They had a
Chocolate,
6-pack of Cokes, the chocolate.
rice,
I think the rice was from the
cake.
sushi. All gone in the garbage. Her excuse was her wanting her husband to have a taste of nice things because he's not familiar with sushi. And she's always talked about the food that I like. I immediately kicked her out. She begged because it was 12 a.m. and said that they would leave early in the morning. They had dinner before that. No, that's not what she said.
I think that she was there just chilling with them before that. But it's like still, I'm
It's
pretty sure
not
that
done yet. I went to bed crying in anger. I woke them up at almost 4 a.m. She started clicking her tongue like a sleepy cartoon character, and her husband protested that it was too early. I pulled the sheets from them and handed them to leave. As clarification, they both have jobs, and shame on me for allowing her to come in because I've had to create boundaries with her multiple times because of showing up unannounced. Playing the I lost my wallet game when it comes to restaurants and consistently trying to stiff me with bills. That is not a friend. She called me hours later, but I didn't pick up. Ooh. Did you hear my voice? I'm so sorry. Oh, goodness. I'm going to leave that in there because that was funny. She said I spoiled her Christmas because her intent was to come visit her family living nearby but having to come back home. They couldn't contact family members to ask them to let them in. because it was too early. So and her husband had a fight, and they drove back, and now he only wants to spend their 10-day vacation with his own family. She sent me another message a few hours later. She says that she's still very angry because he had to drive home gronky and still sleepy because him, which causes him to be grouchy all day. So she basically said, me and my man got into a fight because you didn't let him sleep in. She said he's so mad at her that he moved his stuff to another bedroom. I know when she's lying and her tears suddenly really desperate. Guys, this is exactly what she's saying. She's begging me to call him and talk to him, but I don't want to do it and won't do it. I sent her a $500 cash request to cover the sushi trays, the cake, and other foods, plus replacements. Also, the inconveniencing me and their night over for their night over. It was a whole ass inconvenience to her. It sounds pretty, but I'm still fuming. She whined and cried, but paid for it. Whoa, I'm surprised she got the money out of her. I didn't read that part, or I don't remember that part. Then said that because of me, her kids won't have Christmas. Clarification: I cited for abuse of trust and hospitality when I kicked them out. I wouldn't have minded if they made sandwiches or took from an already open juice carton, which were all mostly full, but I cannot forgive what they did to the food wasting. I already blocked her, telling her that we are no longer friends via text. She sent a friend I hardly know to talk some sense into me, and whom I didn't give two fucks for themselves. He says what I did was over the top because not only did I scold, kicked her out, and announced the end of our friendship, but made her pay me money. Am I the asshole? I think her man says she's an asshole. What the fuck? You get out too then, bitch.
Fuck your friend. Fuck her man. Fuck those kids' Christmas. Fuck that.
It's Christmas.
Fuck that drive. Fuck everything, homegirl. You did the right thing. Fuck that bitch. Honestly, because it's like you're really going to come unannounced, which honestly sucks all the time because let's be honest,
when people do that.
Like the house is never really clean, like to where you want it to be. So once people come over, you're like all feeling rushed. You're like, oh shit, this isn't supposed to be there. This isn't supposed to be there. This is dirty. Like, and then the fact that they wanted to stay over, you allowed them to, which is cool of you to. And then
I wouldn't have let them. Okay, honestly, if it were just one of my friends, like that I wasn't a moocher, cool. But if I know you're a moocher, no, you're not gonna stay at my house. Well, she already knew.
Not just that, but it's like if you knew that it was getting late, you have a whole ass phone. Start looking for fucking places to stay. If your family hasn't answered you about you coming over, why are you coming over without having a hotel at least?
Oh, this is true.
You see what I'm saying? Like, you were unprepared. You just wanted to go over there and fucking use them and then basically go to your Christmas.
I would have put the sushi trays in the car. We're going to throw it away. If you're going to throw it away, might as well take it. But, I say she's not the asshole. Nor is her friend or ex-friend. I think the asshole here is her boyfriend. Boom.
No, because like
yes, let me continue.
Go.
He's the asshole because she knew that, well, they're all assholes because the girlfriend knew that she was a moocher. She's already stiffed you a couple of times, so you still let her in your house. Honestly, if it's raining, like, I don't know. But no, if you already knew, you already knew. The friend's obviously an asshole because she knew what she was doing too. The reason why I say the boyfriend is the asshole because no, you know what? He can't be the asshole actually because he said that she was the asshole too. Everybody's an asshole for me.
Honestly, the only one that's the asshole is the friend. The boyfriend.
The friend and the girlfriend. The girlfriend, she already knew she was a moocher. She still let her stay.
Well, no,
she's
like,
an asshole too because they touched her man's sushi.
Well, I understand like letting somebody stay like once it's late. You don't want them to get in a crash or whatever. But just the friend.
I say
like,
if you're not drunk, you could go.
Just the fact that the friend that was the one that came over, like, you fed your man shit that you weren't supposed to. He probably, like, unless he did not say, hey, don't touch their stuff or try to make you stop, he's an asshole too for just accepting it. But then the fact that you guys ate it all and then had a problem with like even paying for it, like come on now.
I did not expect them to pay. If they're the people that they sound like they are, I honestly did not expect them to pay her.
Well, I mean, the friendship might have meant a little bit more to her, or just the fact
She
that it's
fucked it up
like
though.
maybe later on I could go ahead and
Get
do
some
the same
more.
thing. You know what I'm saying?
True. Yeah. No. So in conclusion, who's the asshole? Who'd you say?
I said that the friend that came over.
The friend is the asshole for sure. They are the asshole, but you are also not smart because you still let her come in. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, she even said it herself. Like, all right, so this one was the one that I read yesterday, and it kind of was funny. Like, I'm pretty sure it's the same one. So it says, "Am I the asshole for refusing to financially support my baby mama?"
And a lot of times, it's really just a 50-50. But for this one, because of how hype you're trying to sound right now, no, you're not the asshole.
Okay, so all these are fake names. I, 54 male,
God.
am married to Liv, 46 female. We have a daughter, 6, and have been together for 12 years. Liv is my second wife. I married my first wife, Anna, 57 female, when I was 21. Anna is French, and we met when I was in France for a holiday. We have 2 children, Sophia and Mateo, 27 and 30, female and male. Anna and I were married for 8 years and had a admissible divorce, and I am on good terms with both of my children and Anna, and I see them often, which is pretty cool. I then moved to the U.S. where I met Abby, 48 female. We were together for 5 years, not married, and 2 children, Jake and Leah. I cheated on Abby and Harper and had a
Oh my
daughter, Maddie,
God.
15 female. Harper and I stayed together for 2 years, but we eventually admissibly split up. I moved back to Europe, so I bought them a house as well as provided financial support. I see Maddie in person twice a year and we talk every day. My split from Abby was messy. Abby told me she didn't want me in our children's lives, and I didn't fight her very hard on it. I kept in touch with both of them, and Abby and I came agreement where I don't pay child support but I instead pay for school. I agreed I also give them both a generous allowance and expensive gifts for B-days and Xmas. I'm aware it's a poor substitute for a father. After my split, Abby married Cole, 51 male, and had Ryan, 12 male. From what I've heard from my kids, Ryan is a golden child of the house. They aren't mistreated by any means, and from what I can tell, they like their stepfather well enough. But if there is an argument between Ryan and either one of my kids, Abby and Cole will take Ryan's side. Abby always been a reckless spender. Now Abby and Cole are struggling financially, and she has asked my kids to chip in. I have more than enough money, so I have no problem upping Jake and Leah's allowance so they can help their family and keep some for themselves. Abby called me out and out of the blue a few weeks ago, and this is where I might be an asshole.
Ooh, he's
Okay.
even saying he might be the asshole.
So like this is
Damn.
where like he thinks other people might consider him the asshole. Okay? So this is a lady that he has 2 kids with, and she has 1 kid with somebody else. Okay, so she fought with Jake when he refused to use his allowance to help pay their mortgage. I asked her that since Jake is no longer living with her, he has no obligation to pay her house.
He's not even living with her?
Okay. She then demanded that I give Ryan an allowance as well as Jake and Leah, Ryan being the kid
What?
that is not his. Okay. She told me that I wasn't allowed to financially support Jake and Leah without also including Ryan because he was feeling left out. I told her to F off. I'm not going to stop supporting my kids because she can't support her own. I told her that I'll still pay Leah tuition, but I'm stopping her allowance so Abby doesn't get any money. Both of Abby's parents called me to say I'm an asshole for not stepping up and helping my kids, and Cole also called to scream at me. So his ex baby mama's parents and her new baby daddy called to yell at this fool. I had to block their
Oh, there's
numbers.
more. Okay.
My family reassured me that I am not the asshole, but I'm not sure because I feel guilty that Leah's the one who suffers. So basically, he feels bad for his daughter because he cut her allowance out and just is paying for her college, just so the mom doesn't get none of the money. And it says, my ex is asking me to financially support her kids. Am I the asshole?
Not at all. She's not the asshole. I think the parents are just both struggling and they're taking it on him instead of fixing on working their own problem, because you're basically asking for him to help you guys pay for your shit. You literally are asking him to pay for you guys' shit. I'm a hard believer of the children should not be paying shit because they're your children. You literally like signed up for that when you popped your coochie and when you did what you did with your little dingling. Like, if you have that child, that is not their job to go ahead and like fend for themselves. You are literally supposed to be the provider. Like, it doesn't matter how long. That's just my hot take. But the fact that they're not focusing on themselves and putting this man into it, he was doing his part, giving his kids money for whatever the fuck they want and giving them stuff for school, as you should. um
Both of
so
these kids are like already like 26, like
and he was
college
still giving
students,
them money.
like, still giving allowance, still paying their school, like
He's
shit
not the
like that.
asshole. Even if he cut his daughter off, that's like, I understand why he's upset about that, but I say, um since he's already cut her off and he's proven to her that he doesn't want the mom wanting the money, I think that wait, you said even she's not at home no more? She's at college right now, or she's still at the house?
She's at college, but I'm pretty sure she's still at the house.
I think that he should tell her, I'm not going to give you money no more if I find out you're giving it to your mother. Or just like, I don't know, make it like, he's obviously going to end up folding and giving her money again. But just trying to see a way that maybe she still can get it.
I feel like just putting it in the bank under like her own name and putting it to where she can't really touch it until he allows her. Or making it like his savings, a little savings for her under his own account, and being like, okay, in 4 or 5 years, I'm gonna give it to her once she's done with college, or once I have enough money for her to have her own house.
I think he's not the asshole at all. He's literally a good dad.
I feel like the ones that are the assholes are like the baby mama. Well, first of all, I feel like this might be the fucking man that Sexy Red is looking for, because he's a hoochie daddy having like 7 kids with everybody and shit. But and he's able to support all of them, which is like, damn fool, what you fucking do for a living. But anyways, I might be your kid. But for real, like, he's not the asshole just because he's giving everybody their money. He's helping, even if he didn't
More than
help
enough.
like with child support or whatever. He helped with like Christmas, colleges, shit like that, and that's pretty expensive as well.
Most of the time, the child support doesn't go towards the child.
And it's like the fact that the fucking, even her own new husband is telling her, oh yeah, tell him that it's fucked up that he's not giving my kid an allowance. Like, that's your fucking job, dude. Like, that's your poor parenting in your son's eyes. Make it work for you. Like, you know what I'm saying?
All right.
It's not his responsibility. It's not his.
Let's go to the next one, because this one, I love it. Am I the asshole for scratching my balls at my friend's mom's funeral?
Depends when you did it, bruh.
Just let me know, yes or no. Is he the asshole?
Yeah.
Okay. He goes on to saying, no more context. I literally just did that and she got mad.
I thought it was her funeral. How did she get mad? Hold up.
No, his friend.
Oh.
He was at his friend's mom's funeral, but his friend got mad at him.
Yeah, no.
And he said she got mad. So I think if he wasn't discreet, he is the asshole. Like, let's say that, you know how like you walk past the casket and like say hi or something like that,
Right.
or bye.
Hi. Good morning, motherfucker.
Oh my god. Work stop. We should have making that. Okay. But yeah, so maybe like if he was up there and then he just like was like, you know, like scratching it, like, yeah, dude, that's not an appropriate place. But like, if you can make it discreet and maybe like, I don't know how you guys do it, but like maybe wiggle your legs or something when you're sitting down, like,
I
just
mean, if you put
just
your
try to hide it, dude. The fact that she's seen it is like, okay, you weren't doing a good job of hiding it. Because I've seen some men where they literally will do it anywhere, no matter if they're covered or not. And it's so fucking like, what are you doing, sir? You do not see me pulling out this major ass fucking coochie wedgie with my pad that I got on, right? But here you are scratching your junk in the middle of Chick-fil-A. That's just me, you know?
damn people at Chick-fil-A cut that shit down, bro.
It's anywhere. Like, men,
Nah. You said Chick-fil-A. If you go to Chick-fil-A, don't scratch them balls. Better wait until you get outside the parking lot at least.
So, you know what? He is the asshole. I was gonna say no because I'm like, you know, it's just like girls. Sometimes like we have stuff that like is literally giving us a wedgie and stuff, and I want to pull shit out, but it's just like
Gotta walk through that motherfucker.
he's the asshole.
I mean, like I was saying, he's the asshole if he was like carrying the casket and like scratched it then, or like you said, like if he was,
she's over here tipping.
if he was in front of the casket or in front of like when they put her down and shit. But I feel like you said if he was trying to at least be discreet about it, he's not the asshole. In any way, like if he was at least trying not to let anybody see and you accidentally caught him like slipping, he's not an asshole.
I'm sorry, I took it out on him, but the asshole really is here, the men that do it without giving a fuck. Those are the true assholes of the world.
And it's like, put your hand in your fucking pocket and try to scratch it through there, bro. Like, try to fucking pull your side wedgie out or something.
That's
like,
how y'all do that? Okay.
Well, yeah, because if you put your whole hand inside your junk, like, that's fucking obvious. Or at least your suit, put your suit over it.
All right, so that was Am I the Asshole? That was pretty fun. I like that.
You guys, that's my favorite segment right there. That should be funny as fuck.
Let us know who you thought was the asshole in these situations. Go ahead and comment down below or throw your 2 cents in the Google form.
32 cents in so that boy can get his Christmas present because he ain't gonna get it from his
allowance.
He didn't get the allowance.
Poor kids. It was true. Like, he definitely wasn't the asshole because even he said, I don't care who suffers, but if it's my daughter suffering, like, all right, now I feel like the asshole. And that's so, like, he about to make me cry. He for sure got me feeling some type of way.
Well, I feel like in that situation, it's like,
it's fucked
like
up.
I said, you could just put all her shit into a savings, or you could just try to help her get into her own place and just pay her bills.
Hop
like,
in the truck. Let's go to Target. Get your shit. Here you go. You can't say I don't give you your allowance. Here's it all right there. Just, you know.
Well, I mean, just even like, I wish I would have money for like later. You know what I'm saying? For even now, like looking for places and shit like that, and just having a parent that can't support you, but at the end comes in clutch with like, hey, here's your allowance that I've been saving up or I couldn't give you for so many years. Here you go.
All
like,
right.
That would be cool.
So let's go into the final segment of the night.
I'm gonna keep on the run. I'm gonna have me some fun. It cost me my very last time.
So basically, it's for a podcast. You guys will know the podcast or each other's answers, nor were your friends. We just want to ask couples what's one secret that you've never told him before, if you have any.
Never told him?
Yeah.
I really don't. I am so sorry.
That's okay, babe.
So the question is, what is one secret that you have kept from her so far?
One secret. Honestly, I haven't really kept any secrets.
No?
Nah.
What about an embarrassing moment that you haven't told her? Or you don't want to tell her just yet?
Nah, because she's seen all my embarrassing moments.
Yeah?
Like the worst of the worst, to be honest.
Damn. Okay.
Let me try to think. No visual? All right.
No visual. And she won't know your secret at all.
I know, she knows. Fuck. She knows this, but when I was really young, I like shit my pants.
Oh, really?
But I was like probably not really. I was like 10, and I got hella scared.
Oh shit.
And like there was nothing nearby, so I had to go into a store and like get random clothes. And that was like the most embarrassing thing for me because I had to go into the store with
oh damn,
there was no one to get it for me. I had to go in there, but she knows about that because I told her it was funny to me.
That is pretty funny.
So I was like, she knows everything. Yeah, that's crazy.
Sweet, thank you.
So basically, I just want to ask couples, what's one secret you've never told your partner before? Like I said, you won't know his answer, he won't know your answer.
I don't know, to be honest.
All right. What about one embarrassing moment, whether it was while you guys were together or before you guys even met?
Okay, so I have a dog, right? No, this is my embarrassing moment. I have 2 girl dogs and like to eat like my underwear area. Long story short, I went to the gym and I'm doing leg press and I didn't know that my dog was chewed on my workout pants and I wasn't wearing underwear. I was doing leg press and a guy had to tell me that I had a hole in my private part. I was commando.
Wait, so
crazy?
you didn't notice you had a fucking breeze in your coochie?
No, I didn't feel it. I didn't feel it. I was so into my workout.
That was a good ass fucking workout. You're over here on the benches and shit, all sweaty, and
You know, like in the leg press?
Yeah.
So I had a hole there because my dog.
Oh my god! And he's seen the
Yeah, and he was like, "Hey, you have a hole right there."
girl. Fuck, that is mad embarrassing. I see.
I go to LVC, so I never went back
I go
to.
there too.
I didn't go back to that location ever again.
I go there too. I'm gonna see your poster on the wall
I
and
didn't
shit.
tell him that. I never told him that.
Oh shit. Okay, I appreciate it.
So the question is, what is one secret that you have kept from her so far? She won't know your answer. You won't know her answer.
One secret?
Yes, sir.
I don't know, bro. Because
No?
I feel like what was going on now, because recently, like, we've been more open and talking, and I got in trouble in regard to stuff like, not necessarily like infidelity or nothing like that,
Right.
but some stuff came to the light that, that wasn't before. I feel like now it's, everything is on the plate.
Out in the open and
Yeah,
shit.
exactly.
What about an embarrassing moment you haven't told her?
Embarrassing moment?
Yes, sir.
I would say, damn, that's a tough one. Probably like when I was younger, like in elementary school. Elementary school. Me and my family were at a restaurant, and I had like really bad diarrhea.
Oh shit.
So we had a restaurant, and I thought it was a bar, and I shit on myself.
Oh damn.
And I tried to go back to the bathroom. They're like, "Oh yeah, like I gotta use the bathroom." So I come back there like, "Why does it smell like shit?" And then in the car, they're like, "Why does it smell like shit?"
Oh fuck.
So sooner or later, my dad, he's like, "Did you shit yourself?" And me being a kid, yeah.
Straight up.
And he was mad as fuck. I never told her no shit like that. I never told her that shit.
Really?
Yeah, no, that shit's like.
It stays between
Yeah,
the boys.
Those are our clips from our segment, What Happens in Vegas, a segment where we ask couples what's one embarrassing moment you never told your partner before and one secret that you never told your partner before. They don't know the name of the podcast and they don't know each other's answers. At least we hope they don't. If you find it, you find it. All right. What is up with men and not being able to hold shit in?
Well, I feel like it's mostly
Y'all
like
are
the
weak.
last guy said. It's like sometimes you just think it's a fart. You push a little too hard.
You said, me being a kid, I said, yeah. I was like, me being a kid, I would have said no. I thought that's what he was going to say.
But I feel like in both like places that they actually shit themselves was so embarrassing just because of the fact that it was like out in public.
Oh my
with
God,
your
he
friends
said,
and
we were at dinner. We got in the car.
And like that was dinner with his friends, you guys. So it's like
that was that dinner with his family because he said my dad asked
he
if
said
I shit
I got
myself.
home and my dad asked if I had shit myself and I told him yeah.
Oh, and then the other guy had to walk in the store. I don't know, like, if I could be able to even move, like, to let alone go inside a store.
I mean, I feel at that
He has huevitos, though. He has huevitos.
at that point it's just like rush in there first thing you see. I don't give a fuck if you like it or not. Like
I'm
grab
grabbing
and
this
go.
skirt, bitch. It's mine. Snatch it from the
honestly,
lady's
like
hand.
fuck. But I feel like
True.
you guys would have the same situation happen like if you guys had your period.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, this has honestly been like not even the first girl that where she's not like somewhere where she has anything during her period, and that shit's just like the most shittiest fucking feeling ever, especially when you're at a boy's house. Like, I'm pretty sure I had to have had that one of the nights that I've slept over at your house, but your mom has everything, so I doubt it. But
I feel like that shit would be hella bad, like if it's your first ever period and you're at somebody that you like's house, like, fuck.
thank
Like,
goodness I didn't have that experience.
freaking out in the bathroom, like, oh my god, I'm bleeding.
I definitely am one to go through the drawers. I would look through every single nook and cranny to see what you have in there to help me. But honestly, that's the point where you just roll that toilet paper up and hope for the best. Hope it's thick enough. Hopefully they got that tooth ply, because if you got that cheap shit, don't get me wrong, we've all been there, but if you got that cheap shit during that time, that's tough. That's tough for the girl in the bathroom.
Honestly.
I like how he didn't ask no questions. He's like, all right, bye, bitch. Like, he just was like, you good? But yeah, that's honestly.
Well, she said that her dad had called. She was like, oh, my dad called, I have to go home.
Oh, true.
So I wouldn't ask questions at that point either.
But yeah, those are our couples from What Happens in Vegas. This segment, it's like, it's really fun to do, because when you talk to the people, sometimes like it's really just like kind of grounding in a way, to where it's like you're making natural. It's not a natural interaction, because this is probably like the most weird interaction that somebody can have, but it's just like, it's grounding because you connect with more people, you know?
It is. I kind of like, the only thing that kind of sucks in a way about it was when we were filming some of these couples. Like, there's some of you guys that are super cool that vibe with, like, I felt like it was a cool ass vibe with the homie, and that you felt like it was a cool ass vibe with her, but it's like, damn, like,
we can't let them know who we are, because it's literally part of our contract with them. We can't let them know who we are, because then we can't let each other know their answers.
Yeah.
And that does suck. But if fate is fate, we'll meet again. And you'll have already found the podcast. I hope so. I kind of still hope they all find it, because that's more for us. All right. And if you're somebody that we're one of the couples that we've asked, and you're listening to the podcast, comment down below.
Honestly.
Put it in the Google Forms. Let us know that you found us.
If you're the first one to comment on the Google Forms, I swear I'll let you know your partner's secret. That's
okay.
on period.
All right, so let's go ahead and finish it off there with that note to What Happens in Vegas couples. All right, that was pretty good. I like that we've had our first Christmas here on the podcast. It's cute. It's a dream come true, if I must say. How do you think that our first season has been, like, through our holiday wave on the podcast?
It's been fun.
The holiday ones are cute.
The questions that we've been able to find for them were pretty fun, and they were kind of like hard to think about. I'm not gonna lie. I like how
they kind of like add a little bit more activities into the holiday, you know?
Well, I like how even then, like, these questions that we ask, especially during the holidays, like, they could be a conversation breaker between somebody that you want to talk to, or even like shit like that. Because you can go up
at the table.
Honestly, because you could go up to anybody randomly and just be like, oh, you like Buddy the Elf? I like this one better. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I've seen so many buddies this year. It's so funny. Like,
I feel like
Will Ferrell's face is just so funny.
I feel like that's why, like, a lot of people are starting not to like that movie.
because he's
it's
everywhere
like such
now.
a fucking classic that it's like overplayed.
Whatever. Anyways. All right, guys. This is Sin Vergüenza. Again, if you're listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, please make sure to rate and review. Please. Helps in numbers. If you want to follow the TikTok, in the bio. The YouTube, in the bio. Instagram, all of it. All the links in the bio. Go to the Google Forms to put your 2 cents in, or there's a lot of little different subjects that you can go ahead and put your answer in 100% anonymously. This is Ale. This is Sin Vergüenza, without shame.
And this is Mr. Anonymous.
5 more days till Christmas, guys. When you listen to this episode, make sure you're ready. All right? You good?
I'm not ready.
Ho,
but I'll
ho,
try to
ho,
be.
ho, ho. Peace out, bitches.
Baby, quiero ser el río de tu Tokio. Chingamos en la casa de papel sin negocio. Esta vida nunca se acaba la fiesta.